What a day. What a day.
Hey, what a day. Milestone birthday. That's what's exciting. The milestones. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's very aware. I'm excited for her. And
Happy birthday
team,
to
just
her.
thank you, thank you. I'll be sure to share all of this. And the one thing that I've been thinking about most of the day is how 5 years ago, the day I found out that I was conceiving her, totally changed my life. Something that I had worked my whole life for, boom, bam, pow, gone. I was in that career practically my whole life. Since I was 14 years old, I was affiliated with that past career. And a month before she was born, no more career. And 4 years later, I am with you guys on a Friday afternoon, and we are talking about duplication and leadership. I'm going to tell you guys, honestly, I have been feeling a little dragged, knowing that I should be still back here uh, in those inboxes, which I am, just not at the max 10x level that we all should be in anyway on our daily basis. But we've been talking about all week, setting up the team. I thought today probably was the most beneficial for me because I am building a team. It's a small team, it's an inactive team. So I'm listening when he gives us the messages about getting your team moving. And that's what we talked about today. Assignment. And I know this to be true because I am true to a victim. The challenge of it all. So Eric gave us four simple, I guess you would call them steps, or he really didn't give a title, but this four simple stages of assignments. And he really was long-winded on the very first one was to absolutely give them. Give them to your team. This is where it becomes beneficial to have a relationship. Question? I see your hand. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Janet.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I apologize. I have people on Facebook saying I can't find the stream on Facebook.
Okay, let's fix that.
Just wanted to
Excellent
let you
job.
know.
Yeah.
We're
Worthy to be
we're
paused.
live as a duplication run group, and I see some comments like Bill's there, Melissa, Vicky. So
Okay.
I think we're live. So maybe
You are
refresh
live?
try again.
Okay, I don't see it either.
No? Are you in the duplication run group?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure because I'm
Okay, well,
seeing it
continue.
open.
I didn't want to interrupt, but yeah, I don't see it either.
Yeah, someone was trying to get in.
Let me see.
Oh, yep. Yep, because I got the notification. I usually get the notification for it and it's in my inbox. So yep,
You
Okay,
we're
see it?
good.
perfect.
Thanks for checking that. That was worthy. We don't want anyone to miss the gems that's dropped. So the very first one was assignments. Give the assignments, and I was explaining how this is a great this is a great point of having that relationship with your team, with your client, with your supporters. So you'll kind of know what their goal is or what they're aiming for, what they're shooting for, and you can help them align with the proper assignment. Eric gave a great example. Uh, you give a challenge, go live for 30 days, knowing good and well they're camera shy and they will never get in front of the camera. Why would you shoot for that start with that teammate, with that whomever, whatever it is? You want to send a client 4 or 5 fashion fix sets. Listen, they just got into it. Or listen, you send them hundreds of pieces a week. I'm just rambling off on examples, team, but you have to align the assignment with the person, is what I gather. And I'll take that to heart too. What my people aren't doing, I will start at the lowest level. And he said sometimes you'll have to do that. And keep in mind, if the assignment is too great for them, ask them to be honest. And that's probably the most difficult, but the most rewarding part, being honest with ourselves in this business. Because nobody see this business the way that we do in our eyes, right? We all know that we could be doing more. We all know that we should set aside time for inventory. We know that we should go live more. We know that we all can do more. And when we don't, we beating ourselves up and we don't tell anybody and we sink low in the seat and then we go again tomorrow. Pray for that a better day. All right. But that's what happens when we don't have that calendar. So let's all keep that in mind. Calendar is boss. So he went on and on about meeting that goal. And we all know the goal of the leadership of a leader is to have them do a little bit more than what they would do without you. Just like get them to do a little bit more and a little bit more. So no matter how small the task, and I thought about this when he was explaining, no matter how small the task. One of my tasks will be I challenge you to wear jewelry every day. Do you guys know how many photos I come across consultants at the beach on the boat? They out and about the grocery, they telling the funniest jokes and they have on no jewelry. Oh, 100 views. It's happening. So sometimes we have to go to lowest form. You have to remember we are the jewelry kings and queens. That's what we do. So it never fails. You go around and you are your best. You are your best marketer. All right. You are your best ambassador. And we know as leaders, that is what our team is doing. They're watching us. They're, and we talked about where the duplication starts, but that's another part of the duplication, what we do every day. Do we show up on our lives? No jewelry, a mess, stay up there for 5 minutes, unprepared, or never show up? This is what our team is watching and looking. So he was saying, know, no matter how small you have to take it down, or even the challenge, get their goals, get the direction that they want to go in, and 2 times that for them. Once they commit to that first one. I agree. Once they commit to that first pair of earrings, well, let me show you a necklace that may look good with that kind of perfect one. They're going for 2. You know what? That comes in a set. Always shoot them to the next level. It does nothing but encourage them. So I won't belabor the give them the assignment. That is pretty self-explanatory. Give them the assignment, no matter how large or small. And this is another thing that I found interesting. He wanted us to be mindful of. When we give those challenges, this is where those will be exposed, is how I will put it. This is where those will be exposed. Those who are hungry, willing, coachable, they're going to do the assignment. It is just like when someone does something wrong. The first one, the guilty one, usually the first one. No, it wasn't me. Well, everybody else look like what just happened. The same in business, team. The same as business. People will show up if they are willing, but they won't if they are not. And this is what Eric said. He's going to reward or praise, if you will, those who meet the challenge, exceed the challenge. Yeah, you reward that and you show it to everybody you can. That's why we do the post happy birthday, your level increase, you added a partner. That is the reward system. Everyone sees that, and I am proud of everybody that I see come across there because I know that it is work, it is challenges that gets them there. And 2, he said, and he'd also put on front those who don't. He gave it a perfect example. I have 300 people on my team. And my goal is to get 300 people to that convention. Yes, if not more. Always think bigger, the next level. But I'm also going to call out those who did not get their ticket to go pro. So I challenge you, get your ticket. Because when you do, that is the value, that is the gem, that is the reward. But when you don't, I'm going to let everybody know too. So he went on to say, yes, he would. Yes, he would create a frenzy around those who are not participating and want to be part of the team. And he also explained we can't give our undivided attention to those people too. We can't allow ourselves to feel guilty because those people aren't getting it. And oh, I do have one on my team like that. I think about them every day. I'm reaching out every day. They are connected to me, but they won't allow me to connect with them, with the challenges, where you are. Let's talk, let's meet. And I set up so many Zoom meetings and there are no show. But you know what? I'm going to keep setting them up because it's happening to all of us. All right. Know that the other teammates are watching because they're invited too. All right. They see me showing up for this one person. All right. So that's what he explained. I found that interesting. I guess there's a fine line when you start calling out people when they don't meet certain standards, but you guys make that decision on your own with the training you've already received at this point. Look, I went political on y'all. So number two, number two was, of course, the challenges. I took some great notes on this. The challenge, we know the conversation is business, right? And the questions that we ask, he gave this example, and I like that too. What's your name? Where you from? Who you with? Where you been? I have a kind of rotation of questions depending on the atmosphere myself, and it's just to kind of lighten the mood and get to know someone without being personal is what I'm doing. And he had a rigmarole like that where he'd say, well, where are you in your business? And where do you want to be? Well, how many distributors do you have? Or what's your goal for this? Or what's your number? And he's accumulating this information to do one, challenge them, two, to see where they are, to see even if they're willing to coachable or hungry. You'll be able to find out a lot of things just by listening to people. You ask that one or two question, they will tell you what they want you to know, and you'll be able to. And excuse me, team, I probably was overtrained in human characteristics. Remember, I do have a background, but I am a people person and I observe very, very well. And I understand when he says the conversation. And that's why the face to face is so important. You see on the Zoom call, I'm able to express my expressions and how passionate I feel. And when something loops me, when it's hilarious, you see all that in my facial expression. And let's not forget, we got that in the social media training in the very beginning of our 90 days. That face to face is the most valuable if you can get them on a FaceTime. If you can get them on a lunch date or a meetup, that is where it is most critical. That's where you actually gain your most retention versus the inbox messages or the text messages. Those kind of get lost in the shuffle or dismissed. And he went on later to talk more about that. But as far as the conversation and the questions, that's what you're doing to set them up to ask, if I could show you, would you? Remember we had that script? That is part of the um, recruitment. If I could show you, would you? And then you go into your assignment, your challenge, your next direction, the next phase. Once you Okay, I'm reading my scribble scrabble. And this is probably where I dropped the ball the most because he said once they accept that, once they are willing, you got to have a blueprint plan for them. You have to have a map. You got to have some direction for them, and it has to be. Remember, we're talking about that duplicatable thing? Here's where that duplicatable thing. He talked a lot about how we should have things in our repertoire already ready. We should already have a challenge repertoire. We should already have our I'm gonna call them prefabs, but I'll call them what's the better word? Scripts. We already have our scripts, our introductions, our if I would, or would you be willing? So revert back to those notes because they fall right into line with this. So we have to give them strategies and we have to recognize those who take action and embarrass those who don't, is what he said. Recognize those who take action and embarrass those who don't. It's kind of right. I wrote that down. So he and I just previously explained this how I explained how that face to face is more valuable. Here he gave the comparison of the group promotion. How we'll put out posts or make a flyer or tell it during a live, or I'll be doing this. That group promotion gives very little return in simple form. It is that call to those 300 people, that personal interaction, that face to face that you may be able to get is what is going to get them to the next assignment and the next and the next. All right. So when the focus is on 1 million, he gave an example. Yeah, I just want to make a million. I think a lot of us have that image in our mind, that vision. I'm gonna be a millionaire because I do one day. So he said, when they focus on that 1 million, you challenge them to two, because then that challenge to two, that 1 million to be easy to get to. Yeah, it's a Jedi mind trick. And we have to do it to ourselves. We have to train ourselves. We have to influx the right information. This is another gem that is worthy to be repeated over and over and over. Jim Rohn, I do believe he mentioned Jim Rohn as the one who encouraged him. We have to start reading 10 pages a day. So I encourage you. I challenge you. Say anything. I do have a couple of books myself that I'm going to pick up 10 pages a day. And I can remember in my past life, I was an avid reader. I had a lot of time to read. I was into that fiction too. The fictional novels, the gangster movies, and I learned from Stephen King too, and Richardson books. Oh yeah, I used to love the stories. So I am encouraged to go and grab one of those books that I absolutely love and read 10 pages a day. I encourage you and I challenge you to do the same. It doesn't matter what it is. It is the repetition of it. It is the behavior. All right. A clear assignment. Ooh, this was real because it happens. You have totally failed if you have not given a clear assignment. He gave an analogy that they will be discussing this, or they have discussed this in the mastermind course. That those people are 6-figure or better over there in the mastermind course, and someone had Eric explained that if someone in the mastermind class isn't worth 100, was it 100,000? 100,000 by in 10 years, you have totally failed. You have done something wrong. I like the way he's starting to talk a little raw to us. He's coming more into himself. So he used a lot of colorful words, but it got across the message that we have to think bigger. Yeah, we have to challenge ourselves and we have to challenge each other. Be accountable to it. Right? 2 is the challenge, the conversation. Create a roadmap. Embarrass those who don't meet them goals. And he did mention we have to be a book of assignment. That has to be our language. Whenever we hear an objection, I have an assignment for you. I have a challenge for you. That's a great way to refute objections. Oh, I challenge you to the next time this happens. I challenge you to the next time. But I challenge you the next time no one shows up on your live, stay on 30 more minutes and see what happens. That's just a challenge to myself. I'm getting my book ready. But that should be our language. When one is focused on one, we want them to focus on 2 more, better. Yeah, that's the mastermind class. So he gave a great example about how Martin Luther King, great leader, he I have a dream speech. That is a challenge. I have a dream that one day I challenge you all. He did give, I thought that this was excellent too, JFK. We will send a man to the moon and bring them back. Challenge. I thought those are great analogies. I've seen a lot of vision come from those great leaders, but that was kind of new for me today. Those are challenges to the world. Let's figure out how to do this. We're the same, paparazzi. A blueprint has been made for us. We reaching new levels. Let's figure out how to reach newer levels. Figure out how to challenge more, get more involved. Let's figure that out together. Woo. Number 3 was stories. I remember when. That's when you know a story is coming. One of the stages in assignments is stories. Tell a story. Tell someone else's story. Have it, let it be relatable. Let it have a challenge to it. And that's what I have been doing. Well, and Eric taught me this in last season's GoPro, that every communication that you have with your team should have an assignment attached to it, should have some type of challenge attached to it. That's what we do as leaders. We move our team to the next level, one step at a time, one step at a time, one live at a time, one $5 piece at a time. Right? That's what we do across the board. So every time you meet, there should be some type of challenge or assignment attached to them moving forward. All right? And that's where we'll need to know their needs. So stories, again, should be our language. I do have a story for some of everything. Some things ring true 15, 20 years ago. I can remember. I remember when, well, I won't tell that story. They are attached to everything. He said that there are 2 examples of stories, inspirational ones. I am so, so happy that I was pressured into walking away from that former life to now I have this one, and I'm so, so happy about it. Inspirational stories. I challenge you, if you just can't do it anymore like I could, my dignity could not handle it anymore. I challenge you to make a change. Go to another department, find another job, walk away, or to decide what are your options and make a change. I tell my friends that all the time. It's nothing worse for me to hear my friends that I've known for a very long time or my prior work friends talk about how bad the job is. That is just the most depressing conversation to me because that's not my life anymore. I don't have those struggles anymore. I can't relate to that anymore. So I challenge them. Do what I did. I don't know. I don't. I do challenge them to seek other avenues. Oh, it's time, and I am. And the last was vision. You're right. Leaders speak in terms of their vision. All right, your truth. I'll leave that there because we are 4 minutes, 5 minutes from new releases. Questions, concerns, or comments?
Thank you so much, Tanya. I got so much out of it. Got
Friday
all these notes.
team, go and get them this weekend. Thanks for
Happy
joining.
birthday to your baby.
I know we're gonna have a ball. We're going to the water park the weekend.
Oh,
Okay.
fun.
We're out of here, y'all.
Okay, bye. Thank you again,
Thank you,
Tanya.
Have a
You're
great
the
Kate.
weekend.
best.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.